right. Tzsyu. Tzsyu. Mendoza. Yes, sir. Official fight party. Shout out my guy Punch Drunk 412 was supposed to be joining me. I guess bro then went to sleep. I can't sleep on it. I've been waiting on this one. Tzsyu, I've been waiting on this one, nigga. Oh, I'm excited for this one. If you're coming in here, man, rocking with your boy, make sure you smash that like button. Most definitely share the video. You never know who ain't got Showtime and can't watch the fight. I'm more than happy to provide the commentary. I wanted to open up the phone lines too while we still got the Goodman Flores fight going on for anybody who's interested in letting me know your Tzsyu versus Mendoza predictions. All right. I'm going to go ahead and throw that number up for y'all. 757-349-6242. Would love to hear from you. If you have Tzsyu versus Mendoza prediction, holla at your boy. Make sure you smash that like button, share the video. Never know who has Showtime. I want to provide that commentary for you tonight, man. Thanks for everybody who may come through here tonight, who was with me for the Keyshawn Davis Nair Albright watch party. We got Tzsyu versus Mendoza next. WBO 54 belt on the line. Tzsyu, his first title defense. And I respect him. Oh, I respect him. Why? Because Tzsyu say he don't feel like a champ. I think that's probably the biggest thing for me for Tim. Like, for the most part, I promise you, outside of fighters who I just really, really like, I don't pay attention to the personal life. So the character of the fighter, for the most part, doesn't matter to me outside of the ring. But when I hear somebody like a Tzsyu say something like, man, I don't feel like a champion, or I won't feel like a champion until this Mendoza fight is done, that means a lot to me, man. So it makes me give Tzsyu just that much more. Makes me like him just that much more because he feels that way, right? He's not being boastful about being an email champ, because that's exactly what he is. That's what everybody called Devin Haney, right? He's the email champ. But if he is able to get past Mendoza, I think he definitely garners the respect. Like I said, this feels more like, two top guys scrapping it out for a vacant belt versus Tzsyu's first title defense. Because technically he's the champion, but he doesn't feel that way, and shit, I'm going to be real. I don't feel that way neither. You know what I mean? You got to earn it in my eyes as well. That's just how I feel. Phone lines open 757-349-642. Who you got, man? Right now we still got this Goodman versus Flores fight, and this is a really good scrap, man. I love the combination punching and the jabs from a Goodman, but the body work from Flores, from old Charo. This style matchup was crazy, and man, this is a really, really good fight. I don't know if y'all been watching this Goodman Flores fight, this kind of prelude to the Tzsyu fight. And Goodman was on the last Tzsyu card, man, as well. Another Aussie fighter, looking really good out there, man. I mean, Australia is stringing along some really, really good talent for sure. And Flores in round 8 looks like he's taking a little bit more of control of this fight. I'm not sure the body work's going to be enough to overlook the head work. Oh, and Flores goes down from a body shot. Wow. The irony. The work he's been able to do all night. Really good work through 8 rounds from Flores on Goodman. He's the one that actually goes down from a body shot. Now, the 8 count, Goodman coming out, pouring it on. Big shot downstairs. Quick 1-2 combination upstairs, and Goodman trying to close the show. But Flores is a warrior. He's not running. He's sitting right in the pocket in the middle of the ring, getting warned now for a low blow and taking a point. So obviously there's been several low blow warnings, and now the Australian referee, it appears, is taking a point from Flores. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. As much body work as he's done in this fight from when I was watching early on and then trying to set up to do this Tzsyu fight, I'm pretty sure when it carried on and maybe he went low just one too many times and is getting a point deducted here in the 8th round. A minute to go in the 8th. And after the knockdown, Flores seems like he's cleared the cobwebs. He's still there. He's sitting right in the pocket. I don't know. I don't know what the game plan is. At least get on the back foot, trying to avoid some of this punishment. But, you know, I don't know if you ever paid attention to Flores before. This is the type of style fighter he is. He's a brawler, a slugger. He ain't going nowhere. You're going to always be able to find him. And most likely if you find him, he's throwing heavy leather your way right in the center of the ring. And that's exactly where he is now. But for the most part, with the slick movement, the beautiful jab from Goodman, and the straight 1-2s down the middle, accompanied by some decent body work from Goodman, he appears to be in control of this fight, definitely getting that 8th round knockdown. Now, I probably missed rounds 3 to 7 trying to set up for this fight, but it appears Goodman is in control and most definitely winning this fight. I like Goodman, man. He looks really, really good. Make sure you smash that like button coming in here, man. For sure. I appreciate that love. Make sure you share the video. You never know who doesn't have Showtime and wants to see this Tzsyu fight. Also, I got the phone line open if you want to tell us your Tzsyu Brian Mendoza fight prediction. Would love to hear it. Got any questions for me? I got you for sure. And there go that body shot. Oh my goodness. It was a beautiful left hand to the liver. And Flores went down immediately. You could tell he couldn't breathe. But man, I can't believe he made it to the count. Now, right before round 9, this is scheduled for 12 rounds. Right before 9, looks like the referee's giving both of them a stern warning. Flores right back in the center of the ring, doing what he does best, and that's sit in the pocket and scrap. It's hard not to love that style, bro. It truly is, man. A lot of danger. Is a dangerous style nonetheless, but extremely fan favorite, crowd pleasing style. But Goodman just being able to sit on the outside and pick him apart. Looks like Steve Farhood has it pretty much a wash for Goodman, giving Flores only 1 round. Looks like the 3rd, which is the last one I had seen before that 8th round. Wow. And Goodman putting together a string of combinations now, letting those hands go upstairs, downstairs. Flores still continuing to kind of focus on the body while Goodman is doing good work upstairs. Right in the center of the ring, it's rock'em sock'em right now. Ooh, left hook from Goodman, followed by the right hand. 1-2 down the middle from Goodman. Uppercut from Flores. Flores, the heart of a lion, man. This dude's tough. But Goodman, just so good with the accuracy. The counter punching is just superb right now. Great defense. He's defensively responsible right now against somebody like a Flores who has that hand speed coming into this fight, averaging around 69 punches a fight or a round. And Goodman's defense buttoned up. Big right hand from Goodman over the top. That lands on the temple, followed by the left hand downstairs to the body. Up top to the right to the side of the head. Goodman doing great work. Here comes Flores. Quick 1-2 upstairs, followed by a 4-punch combination, ending it with a right uppercut. That lands on the jaw of Goodman. It is some serious good action in the 9th Oh, wow. Left hand from Goodman. 1-2 down the middle from Goodman. Quick flurry upstairs. 4-punch combination from Goodman. Flores trying to counter. Big left hand, 2 followed by another left hook downstairs from Flores. Still putting that body work in. Maybe it pays dividends down the championship rounds. Maybe it doesn't. But he is definitely putting money in the downstairs bank. Big left hand upstairs from Goodman. Goodman on cruise control from the outside. He's picking Flores apart from the outside. Flores has made 0 adjustments. And unfortunately for somebody with the style of Flores, who's just a brawler, a slugger, not a whole lot of footwork and boxing. When you in there with somebody, and that ends the 9th round. When you in there with somebody who's a sharpshooter, who can who's technical from the outside, and who's extremely accurate, like it appears Goodman to be, you have to find and make some adjustments. And it just doesn't seem like his team is making him do any of that. And it's not working out well for him. He's getting picked apart. Again, man, if you in here, make sure you smash that like button. Phone line is open 757-349-6242. I would like to hear predictions for this Tim Tzsyu fight. I will close the phone line as soon as the Tim Tzsyu fight. Look, Tim Tzsyu backstage flexing on him. Another thing, Tim Tzsyu said, listen, he respects Brian Mendoza. He feels like Brian Mendoza has the mentality of a true underdog. He got that underdog mentality, and that served him well. But he feels like Mendoza is going to be in the ring tonight with a different breed. And Tim says that's not going to end well for Brian Mendoza. Mendoza says, listen, I'm the bigger puncher. Tim Tzsyu doesn't have that 1-punch KO power like I got. And it's going to be interesting to see whether or not Mendoza can garner some respect from Tim Tzsyu early on, right? And like I say, you have to give Mendoza a lot of credit. Getting that big knockout against a Sebastian Fundora, with him having that much length, that much height, that much reach. It took a lot of boxing IQ to set up that left hand, that left hook from Mendoza that was right on a button, and he chopped down that tree. He made some adjustments, and I'm excited to see whether or not he can make any kind of adjustments from an extremely aggressive Tim Tzsyu, and how does that look tonight? Can he provide any adversity from Tim Tzsyu? We haven't seen much of that from him. This is the next level for Tim Tzsyu at 54, and at Brian Mendoza. I believe you can't sleep on either one of them. You have to give Mendoza a puncher's chance. So it's gonna be interesting to see for sure. And here goes minute to go in the 10th round. A lot of the same from Flores. Another warning about a low blow to Flores. It appears the referee wants to be famous tonight. Looks like he's deducting another point from Flores for a low blow. Damn. He most definitely lost this one. Right now, he just fighting for pride, for sure. Shout out Edward Morris in the chat. He says, I got Mendoza winning. Wow, that's what's up, man. He hasn't been getting a lot of picks, man. So shout out to Edward Morris, who's actually going for Mendoza tonight. I got the phone number up, man. 757-349-6242. Call me, man. Tell me your prediction. Let me know what round, how you see it going down. Listen, again, I got to give Mendoza a big puncher's chance tonight. Of course, Tim Tzs유's going to be the favorite in this fight. Mendoza was the heavy underdog in that Sebastian Fundora fight. I do think Mendoza's a boxer puncher. I think he does have dynamite. And like he said, he feels like he's the bigger puncher. If you look at his resume and Tim Tzs유's resume, he feels like he's got the more, or he actually does have the more one punch knockouts. So you saw what he was able to do against Fundora, and I think that's going to serve him well in this fight. But the question is going to be is, can he garner some respect from Tim Tszyu early, right? Can he put Tim Tszyu on the back foot, or at least slow him down from being so aggressive and forcing Tim Tszyu to make some type of adjustment versus Brian Mendoza making adjustments. All right, we got somebody calling in, man. Douglasville Boxing Club. What up, what up, what up? Heavyback Boxing TV. State your name, gangster.
What's up, my brother? This is Coach Eddie from the ATL. What's happening?
Coach Eddie from the ATL. What's going on, big dog? I appreciate you hitting the show, man. What's good with you?
Oh, nothing much, man. I just called and dropped my prediction. I think Mendoza is going to pull the win off tonight.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think Tim, he's the jury's still out, for me, on him, you know what I mean? Because I think like with a lot of these guys, they try to build them up early in their career, and it's basically they just they're benefiting off of proper matchmaking.
Right.
Just like how boxing is.
Absolutely.
Guys who used to be a champion, everybody knows that Tony Harris ain't got no chin.
Right.
He don't have no chin. He's not the same.
To keep it all the way a buck, right? That chin has always been super iffy.
Yeah, good boxers just don't have no chin.
Right. Absolutely. I agree with you.
Yeah. So it's like, and plus I know one thing about Tim Tszyu, if you catch him, he'll fall. He's kind of chinny himself.
Okay. Now that's the part where I haven't seen anybody really rock him and daze him yet good. And I think that
Gaucher dropped him in the first round last time they fought.
well, yeah, but that was more, I felt like more of a flash knockdown. Like I didn't think he was hurt. Like, you know what I'm saying?
There was another guy early in his career, I forget his name, but he dropped him off over one shot.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe like his 10th fight, 8th fight, or 10th fight, or something like that.
Yeah. I don't think he was, again, and I know what you're talking about, but I just don't think he was ever, you know what I'm saying, like hurt. Like I feel like those were, now the first one I can't remember that, but the last one that was a flash knockdown. If you go back and watch that fight, you'll see what I'm talking about. I think, I just don't believe he was in any kind of trouble, and I think that's what the threat that Mendoza brings tonight, that he could truly put Tim Tszyu in some real trouble. You agree with that?
Absolutely. They're both of them at the same height. A lot of people look at the Fundora fight, and Fundora is hard for anybody. I mean, the dude
Cheat code.
6'5", man. Yeah, so it's hard to get to him.
Yeah.
But like I say, he set him up perfectly.
Perfect.
He had been throwing that shot all night, and he finally just caught him. But that's really the only chance he had was a puncher's chance.
Absolutely.
Fundora, you're not going to outwork him.
No. Oh no, the motor on Fundora is unreal. Yeah, the motor on Fundora is unreal, and that's why I say you have to give Brian Mendoza a lot of credit for his IQ. It took a lot of IQ to set up that left hand and to eventually get him out of there, man. So I feel like if he can make those adjustments versus a Fundora, which I feel stylistically, because of the size of Fundora, is extremely hard. He most definitely could figure out a way or make some proper adjustments and have some success against Tim Tszyu, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
For sure, man. For sure. All right, so tell me how you see it. How does this fight end for you?
Man, you got two punches, man. You got two punches. I think it's going to end in a knockout.
Right.
Or maybe, if it isn't, it really just depends on how resilient these guys are. These guys can knock each other down and get up and keep fighting. It could be a fight of the year. I know Mendoza's coming off. He's riding a high. He's won a lot of fights, and he's not coming to lay down. So
For sure.
I think the hungry dog gonna get the steak. You know what I mean?
Word.
I think it's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, man. I had to do this one night, man. I really like. I like Janet Beck, and I know they over there scrapping. But I had to cover this one tonight, man, for sure. This one is the way more exciting fight to me for sure. But I agree with you wholeheartedly, Coach. Coach Eddie, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Coach. You got some? You want to shout out your club out there, man, and some fighters maybe?
Oh yeah, I got it. It's out here in Douglasville. I had in Atlanta, man. I got a boxing gym out here. I've been here
Okay.
about 15 years. You know,
And what's the name of the boxing club?
Douglasville Boxing Club.
Okay.
Yes, it's in Atlanta, and this kind of off subject. I don't know if you got time to answer this question.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, what you feel about the Andrade Benavidez fight? How you see that fight going?
Oh man. Oh, we've been talking about this all week, man. Or since they announced the fight officially, and that fight is for anybody watching November the 25th. And it's interesting because his brother's gonna be on that undercard too against Jamal Charlo. That's another interesting one. But I like Benavidez, man. A lot of people on my head saying, listen, Andre's gonna outbox him. And listen, I like Demetrius Andre. I'm not saying Andre can't win this fight. I think he could very well box himself into a 12-round split decision. But I just believe because Andre starts out so fast, like from what I've gathered from Andre over the years, he starts out kind of fast. He likes to put rounds in the bank if or he's chasing a knockout. To me, in my opinion, but he also slows down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I think that could be detrimental later on against a Benavidez who, a lot like Fundora, has that motor. You know what I mean? Like once he gets that engine revving, it's, it's all down. It's going to be a lot of work, a lot of combination punching. The hand speed is crazy for him to be that big. I think that's going to be an X factor in the fight as well. But if the footwork is there from Demetrius Andre and he can, stay on his toes for 12 rounds and avoid those onslaughts and maybe take a page out of Caleb Plant book and do a lot of holding and clinching, maybe he can box his way into 12 rounds. But if he doesn't take that route, I think Benavidez stops him. Yeah, and I like Benavidez in that fight.
And I see it totally different.
Okay, tell me how you see it.
And you said the key thing. You said Fundora. I think that Benavidez is just a faster Fundora.
Okay.
He's only fast. He's only fast when you're up against the ropes and when you're stationary. He's not a fast fighter in the middle of the ring.
Yeah. He can't. Yeah, he's gonna let his hands go against a stationary target, for sure.
If you're moving, and the thing about I've been watching both of these guys. And I've been, especially this week, I watched about 4 or 5, Benavidez fights. I watched about 4 or 5 Andrade fights. And what I think that Andrade actually gonna probably drop Benavidez probably at least 2 times.
Ooh.
I see 2 knockdowns.
Okay.
The fact that Andrade walks you into punches.
Yeah, he does.
I'm sitting there watching him fight, and then these knockouts are coming out of nowhere, like bam, you on the floor. And I have to actually go back and rewind it because it's coming so fast, I didn't even see it. And I'm sitting there watching it. If I didn't see it,
Yeah.
he hits you with a lot of punches that you don't see, and what he does, he pays attention to how you move it. And one thing about Benavidez, he doesn't move like a regular boxer. He takes half steps.
Yeah.
So I think Andrade's going to catch him in a half step. He's going to catch him with something right down the fight clean, and probably going to drop Benavidez probably at least twice.
Ooh.
And he's good. Andrade's good at turning you too. He'll turn you right into something.
Yeah.
And he's got that sneaky power.
Yeah.
He'll lull you to sleep.
Yeah.
Lull you to sleep. So you know you're sitting on the canvas.
Yeah. I give him a chance of dropping Benavidez and maybe even doing worse, but it would have to be before 7.
A lot of people are talking about the press conference. This is the vibe that I'm picking up. I'm picking up that Andrade is almost dismissive and almost overconfident and arrogant. When he's like, that's the vibe that I'm picking up. Like,
You know what? Because I watch Andre on social media so much, I follow him on the gram and Twitter. It's who he is. Like if you don't follow him and pay attention to him, a lot of people I could understand how you get in that notion. But man, that's his personality. It's crazy, but It's actually his personality, bro.
He's cocky, man. He's
Yeah,
confident. He's like, there's no way in the world this guy's gonna beat me. That's
facts.
what I'm sitting there. That's the vibe that I'm picking up.
It is.
You know what I'm talking about?
It is. That's exactly how he feels. He's not coming up, showing up for a payday. He believes he's the best.
Got school.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And listen, man, he is one of the best, man. Listen, Demetrius Andre Boo Boo has been avoided, and I don't care what nobody say. Right? I think he shot himself in the foot early on when he had it was I guess a issue with the money in that Charlo fight, and it left a little stain on his jacket. But outside of that, man, nobody's been willing to step in there with Benavidez Andrade and make those fights when he was over there with Matchroom. You know what I'm saying? They avoided this guy, and now he did what he's supposed to do. Came to PBC. Let's make the big fights. He's got one. He's got the opportunity. And like I say, I don't want you to think for 1 second that I'm not giving Andre a shot at winning this fight, because he could very well win it. It comes down to what you like best. Now, I think for you probably gonna like the footwork and the IQ of Andre, because you believe he can walk David Benavidez right into something, right? And for me, I like the motor and the hand speed of Benavidez. If Benavidez, which is a big 68 guy, it's hard for me to see him getting dropped now at this point. He got dropped a little early on in his career, but now he's filled all the way out and he's this big. It's going to take a lot to drop that man. And if he can't, he keep his hands up. And if you can't get him out of there under 7th, you better not be breathing hard come the 8th round. Because that's when that boy motor get to going. And if your footwork ain't right and you can't get on that bike and continue to circle that ring, and he starts to cut that ring off and starts to unload them 6, 7, 8 punch combinations, that shit started to add up and it started to hurt. So
He's not a big puncher though. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a good puncher, but he's
yeah.
not a big puncher.
No, he ain't never displayed no real one punch knockout. But I think he's heavy handed enough when it comes from accumulation and to stop you. That's why the ref, he got to step in there and be like, hey, this shit, one punch might not be killing you, but 10 of them is. You know what I'm saying? So I like that aspect of it, and I respect what you like. You say you like the footwork and you like the IQ, and I like the motor and the hand speed of David Benavidez. For sure. That's going to be interesting, man, for sure. Matter of fact, man, make sure you get with me. You got an Instagram, coach?
I'm still low tech, man. I need my kids, the only time I be dead and step into the 20, whatever century we in, 21st century, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to, man, because, I love to get you on the show, man, and talk some boxing sometime, you know what I mean? It's always good to have a boxing coach on the show and to get a perspective, from you, and because I don't know what kind of styles you like to train. I'm pretty sure you make sure you train each fighter depending on their abilities, and that's how you adopt a style for them. But it's always good to have those different perspectives, especially from a coach, man. And you say you've been coaching boxing 15 years, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So if you can, maybe in the comment section, leave me some type of contact, and that I can reach you at. And if you love, if you want to.
You can lock this number in. You want to, brother. Lock me in.
Okay, all right, yeah, I will do, man.
I see my email or whatever, man. Lock me in.
Okay, and real quick before I let you go, Coach Eddie, Tim Tzsyu, Brian Mendoza. You told me that you liked Mendoza in his fight, but you didn't tell me exactly how it ended. What round again?
Oh man, I just don't know. I mean, this.
I need a full prediction from you, Coach. I need a full prediction.
I want to say round 9.
Okay.
I got Mendoza by TKO. Hope I'm not wrong, man. But like I said, this is a good fight because both these guys got down like their hands, man.
Yeah.
Really lands that first good punch. It could be a short night for either guy, to be honest.
Absolutely, man.
Both of these guys are punchers, man. That's what makes it such an
Man, exactly exciting. This one right here is exciting. And just so you know, I don't know if you heard my prediction for this fight, but I do have Tim Tzsyu in the 7th. I think if it goes past 7th, The 7th, I think it's a little bit more trouble for Tim Tszyu because I do believe Mendoza probably has the better footwork and probably is the slightly better boxer. But I think Tim Tszyu gets him out of there in the 7th. So we on opposite sides of the streets for both of these fights. It's intriguing now to really see how that plays out. Coach Eddie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, man. I appreciate you hitting the show, man. Thank you. Yeah, man. Thanks for subscribing and calling in, man. I appreciate you. Best wishes to you, bro. And I'll definitely be in contact with you, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. That was Coach Eddie out of Douglasville Boxing Club out there in the ATL. Always good to have coaches calling the show, man, and rocking out with your boy. Again, smash that like button if you're just coming in here. Share the video. Never know who has showtime or not, man. I'd love to provide some commentary for you guys. I got the phone lines open up if anybody else wants to call. 757-349-6242. Give me your prediction on the Tim Tszyu Brian Mendoza fight. That was Coach Eddie just called us all the way out of the ATL. He feels like Mendoza stops Tim Tszyu in the 9th. Wow. And listen, today alone, that's the 5th person that has picked Brian Mendoza to win this fight. A lot of people is rolling with the underdogs. I did not check to see what the money line or what the spread was, what the bet odds was today today on this fight. I think yesterday it was minus 240 for Tim Tszyu. Brian Mendoza definitely the heavy underdog in this fight, just like he was the heavy underdog in the Fundora fight. A lot of people not expecting him to win, so that's why I'm saluting everybody who's calling here, actually picking him to win. Again, Coach Eddie out of ATL likes Mendoza in the 9th. I want to say Punch Drunk, or no, Sean Don picked Mendoza to win. We had Celestine, I believe he picked Mendoza to win. A lot of people picking Mendoza that's been rocking with the channel to beat Tim Tszyu tonight, man. So right now they building up. They showing a little bit of highlights from each fighter leading into this Tim Tszyu Mendoza fight that should be starting in the next 5 or 10 minutes. Also, again, the phone lines are open, 757-349-6242. If you want to call in real quick, give me your prediction for this fight. Like I told you guys, I'm taking Tim Tszyu in the 7th. I think he stops him in the 7th. If it goes past the 7th, I'm leaning a little bit more towards Mendoza, or at least I believe past the 7th is when Mendoza would have his best opportunity to land something big on Tim Tszyu and maybe change the course of this fight if Tim Tszyu is in fact at that point in control of this fight. Again, Tim Tszyu a heavy favorite in this fight, making his first title defense. And like I told you guys before, that's one of the big reasons I like Tim Tszyu. He doesn't feel like a champion, but he feels like once he gets past a Mendoza, which he told Mendoza tonight will be in there with somebody that's a different breed, then he would feel like a champion. It's hard not to have a lot of respect and like Tim Tszyu. All right. Both dynamite punches. This one, man, is going to be fun for sure. Make sure you smash that like button too, man, if you're in here rocking with your boy. All right, now. So it was just a matter of time, man. We waiting on it to happen in the next few minutes. Phone lines open for the next few minutes. If you want to call in, give your prediction. Also, hit that chat up. Get with your boy. I am going to be here. I am going to be here throughout the entire fight, giving you that blow-by-blow commentary. I got you. Tim Tszyu, Brian Mendoza. And again, it looks like the fight should be starting in a few minutes here. Phone line still open if you want to give your prediction. And tonight, I think, and this is how good I believe Mendoza has gotten over the last 3 fights. I want to give Tzsyu and Brian Mendoza all the credit in the world, depending on how this fight plays out. Because I do believe Tzsyu, when he says he believes him and Mendoza is in that 1%. You know what I'm saying? I do believe these are 2 top 154 pounders out there. I believe Tzsyu gives Jermell Charlo, Earl Spence, and Bud Crawford really, really good fights. That's how I feel. The same with Mendoza. But for Tzsyu, I believe he gives those guys classic fights. You know what I'm saying? I think I think he has that size, that power, and that skill set to be problems for any of them. Like I told you guys, I've been riding high on Tzsyu. Now tonight, he's got to prove it. And what better test than a Brian Mendoza coming off a huge KO victory over Sebastian Fundora, and what's crazy is Mendoza, of course, heavy underdog versus Sebastian Fundora. Nobody really was giving him a chance, and they was already saying, hey, matching up Fundora versus a Jermell Charlo and a Tzsyu. So somebody who's been completely overlooked, and a Brian Mendoza getting a big opportunity tonight. And it's 12:30, man. This fight should be starting any time now. Phone line's still open. If anybody else wants to call in, let me know their predictions for sure. Make sure you hit that like button, man. Looks like Brian Custer is about to announce the fight real quick. Let me see something here. I'm going to try and
throw that many jabs, but he's got to use that punch tonight. And why? It'll set up his right hand. And once he throws that right hand, and it's a powerful one, he's got to bring it back fast. He can't let it languish out there, because if he does, Mendoza will hit him with the kind of left hook that put Fundora out in their fight. As for Mendoza, move his head. Sometimes if he's attacking, he doesn't do that. He was raked over the coals by Fundora in their fight. And in fact, on the inside, his uppercut, the one that knocked out Rosario, could be effective against Tzsyu. And the counter left hook for him, like the one he showed against Fundora, is really special. The interesting thing about this fight, and it really fascinates me, is both men have phenomenal uppercuts. And Brian, we may see each man use the same punch really effectively.
Okay, so then stylistically, what are you looking forward to in seeing in this fight, Abner?
I mean, really on paper, what it looks like, it's going to be a brawl. You're going to see Tzsyu. He's the type of guy that pressures you a lot. And Mendoza, I mean, he's a power shot guy. You know, he's looking for a knockout all the time. So definitely that. And if you're Mendoza, you want to take advantage of that, because let's not forget, Tzsyu has been down already twice in his career, in both in first round. So start off early for Mendoza.
You know, it's interesting because you hear Brian Mendoza when he talked about fighting Fundora. He said, hey, look, that was my strategy. I knew I was going to take a lot of shots. I just need to land that right hand, and he did. You know, I would assume Tzsyu, as we've seen in Australia, because of the crowd, he comes out fast. Mendoza's got to weather that storm, I would think, early on and try to land something big.
I agree, but I also think what Abner said, because of the fact that Tzsyu has gone down twice in his career, both in the first round, I think Mendoza should jump on him. They've combined 24 of their 29 landed punches per round are power shots. 11 knockdowns in his last 8 fights, back-to-back knockouts for Tzsyu. 7 knockdowns in his last 3 fights, all knockout wins for Brian Mendoza. bring on the KO, bro.
Look, it's late. All right. It is time for the main event of the evening. Tim Tzsyu, Brian Mendoza. My friend, go ahead and take it.
Thank you very much, BC. And we do begin the maiden voyage of Tim Tzsyu as a 154-pound belt holder as he makes the first defense against the upset-minded Brian Mendoza.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for the bout you've all been waiting for, the WBO Super Welterweight Championship of the World. And now, please welcome the boxers as they make their way to the ring. First joining us to the red corner is the challenger, ranked the WBO #2 Super Welterweight in the world, from Las Vegas, Nevada, in the United States. Please welcome Brian La Bala Mendoza.
Whatever you used to get on your drink.
All right, fighters coming, making their way to the ring. I can't put this music up here, so Mendoza, Tim Tzsyu starting here shortly, and I got you blow by blow. Thanks for stepping into Heavy Bag Boxing TV and rocking out with your boy. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share this video. You never know who ain't got Showtime. I'm happy to provide some commentary for y'all tonight. Thanks for rocking with your boy. Mendoza entering the ring again, man. This should be an extremely fun fight. I don't think it goes the distance. I'm taking Tim Tzsyu by 7th round stoppage or KO. We just had Coach Eddie call in all the way from Atlanta. He likes Mendoza. He's picking Mendoza in the 9th by stoppage. A lot of dynamite between the two fighters, man. So I'm expecting nothing but fireworks. I do believe if Mendoza can get past Tim Tzsyu. Hold on, I want y'all to hear Tim Tzsyu announcement.
The popular, the undefeated WBO Super Welterweight Champion of the World, Tim Tzsyu.
Here come your boy. Boy, Tim Tzsyu coming out. Tim Tzsyu coming out to that Coolio. Look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Tim Tzsyu coming out to that dangerous grounds, nigga. All my life living in gangsters on that gangsters paradise off that dangerous grounds soundtrack. Australia's a lot of Aussies out here. Tim Tzsyu, his very first 154 WBO title defense. Wow. Oh, he switched it up. Now he said he get money. He got the he got the 50 Cent plan. I get money. Oh, then they switched to the MOP. Ante up. Oh, Tim Tzsyu from out the hood with it. He didn't start rocking Ante. Tim Tzsyu didn't start playing Ante up, bro. Oh shit. Tim Tzsyu got the Hey, yo, if you'd have told me Tim Tzsyu was coming out the MOP, I'd have said you lying. Tim Tzsyu coming out to the Ante Up MOP. Wow. Make sure you smash that like button, man. Share this video. A lot of people ain't got Showtime. I'm happy to be here and provide this commentary. Tim Tzsyu, Brian Mendoza. Tim Tzs유's very first 154 WBO title defense even though he doesn't feel like a champ, technically he's the champ. But like I told y'all, this feels like a scrap for the vacant belt. And it could be fireworks. Tim Tzsyu, 28 years old, 5'9", 153 pounds he weighed in. 70.5 arm reach. Brian Mendoza, 29 years old, 5'10", 154 pounds, 72-inch reach. So Brian Mendoza with the reach and height advantage. Dynamite in both hands. It's going to be crazy. Let's listen to Jimmy.
Here, Boxing Champions and TGB Promotions presents the main event, the featured attraction of the afternoon, and sponsored by strategic partners, Tourism and Events Queensland, and Major Events Gold Coast. This bout is sanctioned by the WBO. President Francisco Valcarcel, supervisor in attendance, Danny Lee, along with the AMBF. Introducing our three judges, scoring from ringside. From England, Steve Gray. From Australia, Adam Height. And from Japan, Katsuhiko Nakamura. Introducing our third man to the ring, the referee in charge. He will be giving instructions after the introductions. From Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the United States, Mark Nelson. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Super Welterweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance, and boxing fans joining us around the world, live on Foxtel Main Event and KO Sports Pay-Per-View, and live from Australia's beautiful Gold Coast, it's showtime! Introducing to you first the challenger on my right, fighting out of the red corner, entering the ring wearing red trunks with black and white trim, fighting out of Las Vegas by way of Albuquerque, New Mexico in the United States. He weighed in at 69.85 kilograms, right at the limit of 154 pounds. His record, 22 wins, 2 losses, with 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Today he is making his international and Australian debut. Here is the WBC interim world champ and tonight's challenger. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the WBO number 2 world rank contender, introducing Brian La Bala Mendoza. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing teal trunks with white trim. Residing in Karambah and fighting out of Sydney, Australia, he weighed in at 69.44 kilograms or 153 pounds. Representing the outstanding boxing dynasty, his record stands at 23 wins, no losses, 17 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome boxing's popular superstar of Australia, tonight making the first defense of his newly acquired title. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the undefeated, the reigning and defending WBO Super Welterweight Champion of the World, introducing Tzsyu. Once again, a referee in charge is Mark Nelson, now to give instructions.
Gentlemen, as we discussed earlier, punches right here on the belt are not considered low. You had your instructions earlier. You both know what I expect. A clean championship fight. Just obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck to both of you.
All right, here we go. Round 1 about to start. Again, make sure you smash that like button for your boy. Share this video. You never know who got showtime. I appreciate y'all joining me. I got you for the blow-by-blow. Mendoza, Tim Tzsyu versus Brian Mendoza. Here we go, round 1. Big left hook from Mendoza straight out the gate. Doubled up the jab, tripled up the jab from Mendoza. Left hook from Tzsyu. Mendoza right in the pocket. Looks like he wants to establish himself early. Tzsyu inching forward. Mendoza keeping that left hand out there. Up and down, giving some feints, trying to get a reaction out of Tzsyu. Again, Brian Mendoza, I think you can't sleep on the IQ. This is somebody who set up a beautiful shot against Fundora. Somebody who had that height and reach advantage. It took a lot of thinking to set that shot up. And right now, it looks like Mendoza is being the aggressor. Oh, right hand from Tzsyu. That looked like it landed on the back of the neck of Mendoza. Didn't seem to phase him. Both men in the center of the ring. Doubled up the left hand with a straight down the middle from Mendoza. That's off the mark. Downstairs left hand from Tzsyu. That lands. Doubled up the jab downstairs from Mendoza. The second one landed. Both men center of the ring. Right hand from Mendoza upstairs. That's off the mark. Followed by the left hand downstairs. Looked like that touched him. Tzsyu, left hand. That's off the mark. Oh, hard right hook to the body. That lands solid from Mendoza. Tzsyu is unaffected. Both of them high guard. Tzsyu trying to close the gap now. Mendoza a little bit on the back foot. Series of feints. A nice right hand from Mendoza. Hits nothing. Right hand downstairs from Mendoza. That's off the mark. Left hand upstairs from Mendoza. He's staying busy. Left hook from Tzsyu. He misses. Crowd starting to chant Tzsyu. Left hand from Tzsyu. Keeping that jab out there is Mendoza. Mendoza boxing. Left hook from Mendoza. That grazes the top of the head of Tzsyu. 1-2 down the middle from Tzsyu. That's off the mark. Doubles up the left jab from Mendoza. Giving Tzsyu something to think about. Keeping that left hand out there. Now circling Mendoza. 10 seconds to go in the first round. Right hand from Tzsyu. That's off the mark. Oh, there's a right hand from Mendoza and a right hand from Tzsyu. Both men appears to trade grazing shots, ending the first round. Wow. A lot was going on in that first round. I think you could say Tzsyu may have landed the best shot with that right hand. But a lot of good work from Brian Mendoza, who appeared to start off to be the aggressor. Tzsyu, I felt like kind of swung that momentum and started to get on the front foot to close the gap. I would have to say Mendoza probably did the better work in that first round. Maybe Tzsyu could have been a little bit more accurate, but I think Mendoza did enough work to win that first round, in my opinion. Shout out my guy. Oh, Coach Eddie in the chat. He say Tim is biting on all the feints. Yeah, he's getting some reactions out of Tim for sure. Doubling up that jab is Mendoza. Going upstairs and downstairs, kind of circling Tzsyu in the center of the ring. Keeping that left hand out there. Keeping Tzsyu with something to think about. But Tzsyu inching forward, closing the gap. Waiting for the right time to strike. There's a left hook from Mendoza. That's off the mark. But again, Mendoza staying busy. Right? There's some good defense from Mendoza getting out of the way. Tzsyu right hand, that misses. 1-2 down the middle from Mendoza. That's off the mark. There's a left hand from Tzsyu. Nice upper body movement from Mendoza. Again, keeping Tim Tszyu was something to think about. Left hook from Tim Tszyu, that misses everything. And again, this is what I was saying about Mendoza, a slightly better boxer than me, meaning the footwork mixed with the IQ. And I think you can see that unfolding for Mendoza right now. There's a left hand from Tim Tszyu. That's off the mark. Tim Tszyu inching forward, trying to close the gap so he can set something up. There's a right hand from Mendoza. That's all elbows and hip. Tim Tszyu looking a little anxious now. On the front foot. Mendoza on the back foot. He's circling. Good head movement from Mendoza. Tim Tszyu with a 1-2 upstairs. That misses. Oh, they exchange left hands. I want to say Mendoza got the better of that exchange. Mendoza boxing well early on in his fight. Tim Tszyu is just kind of in stalk mode as we expected him to be, providing the pressure. There's a left hand from Tim Tszyu, a nice jab to the body from Tim Tszyu. That's the first shot I feel like landed this round. There's a double jab downstairs with the left hand from Mendoza. That second one looked like it got in there. Mendoza, a little bit more busier in round 2. Oh, there's a hook to the body followed by the uppercut, both off the mark. Oh, overhand right from Mendoza. That was a warning shot to let Tim Tszyu know I'm here. Tim Tszyu with a right hand. That grazes the top of the head of Mendoza. And here comes Tim Tszyu. Continue to inch closer. Continue to come forward. There's a left hand downstairs from Tim Tszyu. Nice jab to the body. That lands. 10 seconds to go in the second round. Oh, there's a nice right hand to the body from Mendoza. Wow. Okay. Great shots landed from Mendoza. Busier fighter. Extremely active in round 2. Tim Tszyu still taking his time, trying to close the gap. He landed a couple of shots. A nice little stiff jab from Tim Tszyu. He was trying to get the jab working. He was able to land a nice little 1-2 in that round. But I still feel like Mendoza did enough to win that round. I would love to see the punch stat from Tim Tszyu in that round. I don't think he threw 10, 15 punches, if that. I would have to give Mendoza that round. Now, they just showed the highlights of that round. It was Tim Tszyu landing, and I don't know if that's just because they're in Australia and they didn't want to show Mendoza's shots that he landed in that round. But I see the round 2-1. I mean 2-0 for Mendoza right now. Here comes the third round. Mendoza right back out there with the jab. Off the mark with most of this stuff. There's a straight right hand followed by a right hand to the body. Both off the mark. Left hand from Tim Tszyu upstairs. That's off the mark. Hook from Tim Tszyu. That hits gloves. Jab down the middle. That misses. Left hook from Mendoza downstairs. That catches arms. Here comes a right hand upstairs from Mendoza. And then one downstairs from Mendoza. Everything is off the mark. Tim Tszyu, center of the ring. Still trying to close that gap. There's a left hand from Tim Tszyu. That's off the mark. Mendoza off the back foot, circling Tim Tszyu. There's an overhand right. That lands on the ear of Tim Tszyu. Mendoza trying to garner some respect as Tim Tszyu continues to inch forward and try to close the gap. And we're going to see what kind of conditioning Mendoza is in. Nice defense. Downstairs. Nice left hand from Tim Tszyu downstairs. That landed flush. But then Mendoza returns fire with a right hand downstairs of his own to the body. Tim Tszyu with a 3-punch combination. Nothing looks like it got in. He tripled up the jab from Mendoza. There's a left hook from Mendoza. Mendoza staying busy. Nothing really making it in. There's a 1-2 from Tim Tszyu upstairs. That's off the mark. Nothing too clean in this round. Mendoza, the busier fighter, but Tim Tszyu applying the pressure. Again, inching forward, trying to close the gap. Waiting for the right time to strike. Oh, there's a left hand that lands upstairs. He finally got a jab to go home this round. Mendoza trying to retaliate. There's a 1-2 and a 3 down the middle from Mendoza. It looks like that second one got in there. Oh, okay, Mendoza with the left hook. Oh, there's an overhand right from Mendoza. It looks like that's going to be his favorite punch. He's going to try and get that one in there. Now, Tim Tzsyu has to be worried about that left hand, but it's showing he wants to, put that big right hand over the top to get him worrying about that one, and maybe that'll open something else up. There's Tim Tzsyu with a nice stiff jab down the middle that lands. Both of them trade left hooks. Neither one of them hit home. There's a stiff left hand from Tim Tzsyu upstairs. That lands. Down to the body, left hand from Mendoza. That lands. Another left hand from Tim Tzsyu. That lands. Tim Tzsyu being able to be effective a little bit towards the end of this round with the jab. And that is the round. End of round 3. Tim Tzsyu establishing the jab a little bit better. I feel in that round, Mendoza still busy, definitely out throwing Tim Tzsyu. I think Tim Tzsyu, the accuracy probably wins him the third round. I can see it 2-1 for Mendoza. Mendoza did do a lot of good work in that round, but just more accuracy from Tim Tzsyu, as he did have a clean down 1-2 downstairs with the left, upstairs with the right. That little left hand. See, they just keep showing Tim Tzsyu highlights. They not showing no Mendoza highlights, and that's what I hate about. Sometimes I hate about the broadcast, man, because they be bullshitting. Make sure y'all smash that like button too, man. If you in here rocking with your boy, hit that like button for your boy, man. Share this video. A lot of people might not got Showtime. I love to provide the commentary for y'all. Round 4. Here comes Tim Tzsyu. Straight to work. Upstairs with the left hand. Mendoza keeping that jab out there. Downstairs with a left hook to the body from Tim Tzsyu. Mendoza able to turn him and land the left hand of his own. That was clean. That was solid. Tim Tzsyu unaffected. Mendoza keeping that jab out there. Initiating the clinch and then spinning and turning Tim Tzsyu back to the center of the ring. There's a left hook from Tim Tzsyu. That hits nothing. Downstairs with a 1-2 from Mendoza. Looked like that first. Oh, a nice uppercut down the middle from Mendoza. That didn't land. I think it was grazing. Good work from Mendoza right now. I think depending on how you like to judge fights, he's most definitely the busier fighter, as Tim Tzsyu continues just to apply the pressure. All right. Now, a lot of the times judges will pay attention to the pressure. Some judges will pay attention to the defense. And the output. Brian Mendoza most definitely has the defense and the output right now, as Tim Tzsyu continues to inch forward. Now he's kind of got Mendoza in the corner. Mendoza senses that. He's trying to turn out of the corner, but Tim Tszyu's right there trying to cut off the ring. And Mendoza keeping that jab out there. There's a clinch in the center of the ring. Mendoza showing a little bit of hand speed. I think he may have the edge in the hand speed. There's a big uppercut from Tim Tzsyu that misses everything. Mendoza right back on the triple jab. Then he triples it up again. Looked like 1 or 2 of them may have gotten in there. Right hand downstairs from Mendoza. Tim Tzsyu lead right hand. That's off the mark. Mendoza right back on the stick. Tim Tzsyu. Oh, there's a left hand from Mendoza. That one was clean. It is all Mendoza in round 4, in my opinion. Oh, nice 1-2. Hold up. Hold the phone. Nice 1-2 down the middle from Tim Tzsyu. That was on the button. Both of them go downstairs. Trade left hands downstairs. Another left hand downstairs from Mendoza. Mendoza looking like he having fun. Left hook from Tim Tzsyu. There's another left hand downstairs from Mendoza. I still think he doesn't have the respect from Tim Tzsyu about his power. And Tim Tzsyu will still continue to come forward. Left hand downstairs from Tim Tzsyu. Continuing to try and come forward and close the gap. There's a big left hook from Tim Tzsyu that hits the glove of Mendoza, it appears. Oh, there's a left hand upstairs from Mendoza. That lands on the temple of Tim Tzsyu. There's another left hand upstairs from Mendoza. 2 Nice left hands from Mendoza to close out round 4. A lot of great work from Mendoza in round 4. Hopefully they'll show some Mendoza highlights. Okay, it looks like there's a left hand from Mendoza on the chin. And he doubled that up. He caught him twice with that. And then they go right back to the only highlight for real that Tim Tszyu had in that round, bro. And then they show the same highlight twice. This bullshit, man. This bull. Come on, man. Even though I'm picking Tim Tszyu to win, but come on, bro. Let's be fair, man. Mendoza won that round, in my opinion. I got it 3-1 Brian Mendoza. And I'm just keeping it funky with y'all, man. They don't even want to show Mendoza highlights. They don't want to show his highlights, bro. And he's doing some really good work in spots. Here's the beginning of round 5. Mendoza shoots out to the center of the ring and starts releasing that stiff left jab immediately. There's a 1-2 down the middle. Again, staying busy. Tim Tszyu with the high guard covered up in the center of the ring. Continue to inch forward. Ain't trying to close that gap. It looked like he wants to land that big hook really, really bad. But Mendoza really slick on the defense. And again, I feel like at this point, he's just outworking Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu may be a little bit more accurate, but he's definitely outworking Tim Tszyu at this point. Oh, nice left hook from Tim Tszyu. That lands on the jaw of Mendoza. He eats it. That was a beautiful shot from Tim Tszyu. All right. Yeah, he walked right through that left hand from Tim Tszyu. There's a left hand downstairs from Mendoza, followed by a right hand downstairs from Mendoza. Right in the center of the ring, right in the pocket where Tim... Oh, nice left uppercut from Tim Tszyu. That hits the jaw of Mendoza. Tim Tszyu having some success in round 5. There's a 1-2 right down the middle. The lead left hand lands. He comes back with that same left hand. That lands. Tim Tszyu looking to take control in round 5. Mendoza on the back foot, trying to rethink this thing. Hands a little bit low, lower than what I would like against a serious puncher like a Tim Tszyu. He's on the outside. Now he wants to use the space. There's a left hook from Mendoza. Tim Tszyu counters with the left hook. Downstairs with the left hand from Tim Tszyu. Tszyu going to work. Mendoza trying to show some head movement, give him some feints, give him something to think about. There's a nice right hand to the body from Tim Tszyu. Oh, there's an uppercut from Mendoza. That looked like it could have got home just a little bit. It could have been grazing. Mendoza along the ropes. This is where Tim Tszyu wants him. 45 seconds to go in the 5th. Whiff of a miss with the left hook from Tim Tszyu. Missed everything. Nice head movement from Mendoza. Nice little jab. Upstairs, downstairs from Tim Tszyu that he lands with the left hand downstairs. This has been all Tim Tszyu this fight, or this round, excuse me. And Mendoza just has to rethink some things between rounds and get some instructions. Tim Tszyu was able to definitely touch him in round 5 and had some success. It's 5 seconds to go in round 5. It looks like Mendoza is getting a nice little mouse around that right eye as well. That left hook to that in that round really was on the button, man. It was on that eye of Mendoza, and that looked like it's starting to show. If you're coming in here, man, rocking with your boy, make sure you smash that like button, man. Share this video. I love to provide the commentary for anybody who doesn't have Showtime and can't enjoy this Tim Tszyu fight. Least you could do for your boy if you in here chilling is hit the like button and share the video. You know what I'm saying? Or at least hit the like button, man. Some of y'all don't even want to do that, you dirty bastards. So that was round 5. I got it 3-2 Mendoza. Really like though, man. You know they about to show all the Tim Tszyu highlights. There was plenty of highlights to show in this one. They showed the same one twice last round when Mendoza did all the great work. All right, round 6. Mendoza to the center of the ring. And Tzsyu steady on the same game plan. I guess he feel like no real adjustments needed. Mendoza tripling up that jab. Oh, nice right hand. It looked like that grazed the jaw of Tzsyu. A right uppercut. He tried to slip that one in. I don't think it landed. Now Tzsyu trying to repeat some of that round 5 success. Misses everything with the left hook. Mendoza calculating. Trying to work the right hook to the body. Tzsyu, though, really, really good defense in this fight. It's been buttoned up for the most part. Both of them have displayed some really decent defense against a heavy-handed opponent in both Tzsyu and Brian Mendoza. Now, I think it's just a matter of who makes the first mistake. There's a nice double jab. Oh, right hand over the top from Mendoza. That lands. Mendoza doing some good work again here in round 6. Not a lot of activity from Tzsyu, just more of applying pressure with nothing on it. He doesn't seem like he's trying to work behind the jab in this round, and Mendoza, I feel, is taking advantage of it. Now Mendoza up again along the ropes. Tzsyu trying to figure out if he wants to tee off or not. He kind of lets him out of it, but he cuts off the ring and keeps Mendoza along the ropes. Mendoza keeping his guard high, a lot of head movement, trying to set up that left hand. And he shoots that left hook out there twice, misses everything, and Tzsyu right back in his face, not allowing him to get comfortable at all. There's a left hand to the body from Tzsyu that scores. But a really, really good round so far from Brian Mendoza, who just puts together a 4-punch combination going upstairs and downstairs. Nothing lands solid, but still busy work. There's a left hand. He sneaks that one in. That one scores. There's another left hand from Mendoza. That scores. Tzsyu with a left hand. That hits the gloves. Downstairs from Mendoza. That scores. Now Tzsyu got Mendoza up against those rope again. Quick little 1-2 upstairs from Tzsyu. That scores. 30 seconds to go in the 6th. There's a left hook from Tzsyu. Even though it was blocked, it looked like it kind of went through the glove. And Tzsyu trying to get warm up against these ropes. Mendoza, left hand downstairs. And again, it depends on what you like. If you the judges, there's a left hand from Tzsyu trying to counter Mendoza. Depends on what you like from the judges. Again, another round that I felt like Mendoza kind of controlled the round. Did a lot of good work from the outside. Staying busy. Tzsyu didn't have a lot of activity in that round. Definitely more accurate, though, when he did decide to throw. He landed with the short amount of punches that he did throw, but more busier, and landing and showing really good defense from Brian Mendoza and Tzsyu. Oh, there go that uppercut. That uppercut did land from Mendoza. Now up along the ropes, Tzsyu, they both trade left hands, and then Tzsyu sneaks in a right hand. They both trade left hands, and they keep showing Tzsyu highlights now. That's crazy, bro. That's horrible. All right, round 7. Again, I would have to have given that round to Mendoza. I just thought he did he had a busier, fight. Now listen, round 7. This is the round I predicted that Tzsyu would knock out Brian Mendoza. And here comes Tzsyu on the stick. Brian Mendoza right in front of Tzsyu. He doesn't have to look far to find him. There's another left hand from Mendoza. He's just catching gloves right now. There's an uppercut that looked like that grazed Tzsyu. The activity from Brian Mendoza, even though a lot of it isn't clean, is activity nonetheless. There's a left hook from Tzsyu. That looked like it could have touched the ear of Mendoza. Not too many clinches in this fight. A slight quick clinch in the center of the ring. There go Tzsyu with the left hand, misses everything. Mendoza high guard, A lot of feints in the center of the ring, working off the back foot. There's an uppercut from Tim Tzsyu. Oh, followed by another uppercut. Oh, shit. That lands clean. Mendoza could be in trouble. Tim Tzsyu smells blood, but Mendoza fires the left hand. There's an overhand right from Tim Tzsyu. They thudding shots. Mendoza eating them. Mendoza might be in trouble, but he's still firing. I can't tell if it's... No, it doesn't look like he's hurt, but he did get buzzed a little bit. A series of uppercuts from Tim Tzsyu. Now Mendoza initiating the clinch. There's a big right hand from Tim Tzsyu. There's a big right hand from Mendoza. Big uppercut from Tim Tzsyu that misses everything. Round 7 is a 5-fight, and Tim Tzsyu is winning it. Okay. Minute to go in the 7th. Tim Tzsyu on the attack. There's a big left hand to the body. Right hand to the body from Tim Tzsyu. Mendoza trying to clinch. Right hand upstairs from Tim Tzsyu. That lands. Another right hand behind the head of from Tim Tzsyu. That lands. Downstairs work. Brian Mendoza in a little bit of trouble. Tim Tzsyu. There's a big uppercut off the mark, followed by the left hook. Now trying to line him up. Mendoza fighting back. Shoots out the left hand. But Tim Tzsyu having a ton of success here in the 7th. 20 seconds to go. Mendoza looked like he may survive, but Tim Tzsyu landed some heavy leather here in the 7th round. Mendoza digging deep, biting down, and Tim Tzsyu teeing off. Wow. That was some punishment from Tim Tzsyu on Brian Mendoza in the 7th. I almost thought for a second there my prediction was going to be spot on, but Mendoza survives the 7th round after appearing to be in some trouble. Tim Tzsyu able to do a lot of great work up along the ropes, but it all started with this huge right uppercut, and then he followed it with another one, and he kind of grabbed Mendoza behind the head. Come on, Tim Tzsyu. But that was a beautiful right uppercut, and he landed another one, then another overhand right. Then he hit him behind the head about 2 or 3 times. That was behind the ear. He hit him with a right hand behind the ear. Tim Tzsyu looking for the old-ass ref to help him out, but or Brian Mendoza was looking for the ref to help him out, but that wasn't happening. His equilibrium could definitely be off. He got hit behind the head in that round with about 2 big, good shots behind the head. Here we go, round 8. Can Tim Tzsyu put the finishing touches on it? Now, I said if it goes past round 8, I think Tim Tzsyu could potentially slow down and it could become the Brian Mendoza show. But Tim Tzs유's still extremely dangerous. He has conserved a lot of energy in his fight. He hasn't went for broke in none of these rounds. He did exert himself a little bit in round 7 because I believe he thought he had Mendoza in trouble. Now, Tim Tzsyu on the front foot pressing forward. Mendoza looking a little weary. But on his feet, on his toes, hands up, Tim Tzsyu trying to work behind the jab, trying to pin him up against the ropes. Again, cutting the distance, closing the gap. There's a right hand from Mendoza downstairs. I feel like Mendoza is still trying to recover a little bit. He's kind of pulling out the left or the right hand. And Tim Tzsyu countering well. There's a left hand downstairs from Tim Tzsyu. The counter punching from Tim Tzsyu, I have to admit, has been excellent so far in this fight. Steve Farhood Carr has Tim Tzsyu over Mendoza by a round, 67-66. That 7th round made it. Yeah, I think I had Tim Tzsyu ahead. I think I had him even, and then I put Tim Tzsyu ahead. So me and Steve Farhood got the same card. There's a triple jab from Mendoza. Mendoza still look like he's recovering to me. He doubles up the left hand. The hook misses everything. A right hand grazes for Tim Tzsyu. There's a left hand upstairs from Tim Tzsyu. That's blocked. Now Mendoza trying to calculate this thing. Tim Tzsyu on the front foot, still pressing forward. looks like he's taking this round off, if you ask me, if I'm Tim Tszyu. But I think that's a mistake because I feel like this was a fight where, or a round where Mendoza was still kind of recovering from that big 7th round where Tim Tszyu did a lot of great work. Now, there's a left hook. They trade left hooks. I think Mendoza took the worst of that one. Mendoza trying to garner some respect now, standing in the pocket. That's a very dangerous place to be right now. That left hand of Tim Tszyu is a missile. There's a big right hand from Tim Tszyu. Hey, man, he walks right through it. Mendoza bops out of it. Gosh almighty. 10 seconds ago in the 9th. Oh, there's a nice left hand from Mendoza. Wow. Mendoza got a chin, bro. Mendoza got a chin. For sure. A lot of big shots from Tim Tszyu in that round. I thought he had gotten the better of those firefight exchanges. I would have to give that one to Tim Tszyu as well, giving the 8th round to Tim Tszyu. That'll put him up by 2 on my scorecard. Oh, man, look at that left hook. A beautiful left hook from Tim Tszyu. And a beautiful right hand followed by a left hook from Tim Tszyu. He did some great work in round 8. We got round 9 coming up. And both of these guys are still here. I ain't gonna front. It looks like Mendoza's a little weary. I thought that was more of a recovery round from the 7th. And I think he did just enough good work in the 8th round from Tim Tszyu to kind of reset that recovery time for Mendoza. Now, the 9th round, this could get very dangerous, I believe, from Mendoza. Again, because Tim Tszyu hasn't had to exert himself. Not a lot of energy burnt up from Tim Tszyu. He's just been, subtly cutting off the ring and loading up on shots. But nothing crazy, nothing wild, nothing to spend a lot of energy. But Mendoza's still extremely dangerous. Tim Tszyu's got to be calculated in mounting that attack. There's a big overhand right for Mendoza that misses everything. And Tim Tszyu has been countering well. He's got to be careful because he's not getting out of there unscathed. There's a big right hand from Tim Tszyu that kind of goes through the guard of Mendoza. He felt that. Oh, a big right hand from Tim Tszyu again. How's he taking these shots, boy? Mendoza taking some shots now. Nice head movement from Mendoza, but Tim Tszyu, eyes open, and he kind of just sees everything, right? Mendoza contorting his body, a lot of head movement, and I think he's taking his eye off the target when he's doing that, right? But if you look at Tim Tszyu, his eyes never leave the target, and the counter punching has been fantastic. There, right back in the corner, down, nice 1-2 combination downstairs from Tim Tszyu, followed by a left hook upstairs that lands for Tim Tszyu. Another left hand downstairs from Tim Tszyu. He's scoring at will at this point. I think Mendoza could be slowing down just a little bit, and Tim Tszyu looks like he may just be getting a little bit stronger. It could be a matter of time, but Mendoza, you can't count him out. There's a nice right hand over the top from Tim Tszyu. Mendoza's jab has become meaningless at this point. Nice left hook blocked by Mendoza, but it sends him stumbling. There's a left hand upstairs from Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu starting to take over this fight. There's an uppercut from Mendoza that grazes Tim Tszyu, followed by a left hand upstairs. Tim Tszyu downstairs with the left hand. 1-2 upstairs from Mendoza, followed by another left hand upstairs. Everything missed, or blocked, I should say. Now back against the ropes. Tim Tszyu kind of taking off the last minute of this round, it appears. 5 seconds to go in the 9th. I think it's another Tim Tszyu round, man. Really, really good counter punching. Really, really good being able to kind of track and keep his eyes on Mendoza as he contorts and tries to, get that head movement in there. Landed a really solid right hand, man. It's crazy because Mendoza is eating some of these really, really heavy shots from Tzsyu. Bam! Nice right hand on the chin from Tzsyu, followed by a left hand in that round. It's all Tzsyu right now, man. Got to give the ninth round to Tzsyu. Up by 3 on my card. All right, Coach Eddie called it in this round. Oh, no, he said the 9th round. This is the 10th round. So, yeah, let's go past both of our predictions. All right, here we go. 10th round. Nice little combination from Mendoza, followed by the right hand downstairs from Mendoza. Tzsyu counters. Nobody lands anything significant. Tzsyu closing the gap. There's a right uppercut that grazes the chin of Mendoza from Tzsyu. Now Mendoza kind of probing with the left hand. There's a big overhand right from Mendoza. Misses everything. Tzsyu sneaking in a few shots in the break or in the clinch. There's a left hand from Mendoza. Trying to keep that jab out there. All of the crispiness of the jab from Mendoza is gone. The jab has become meaningless. There's a big overhand right from Tzsyu. He misses. Right uppercut from Mendoza. He misses. Downstairs from Tzsyu. Good body work now from Tzsyu, putting together a 3-punch combination downstairs, followed by a 2-punch combination upstairs. Mendoza on the back foot. Tim closing the gap again, trying to cut off the ring, get Mendoza against those ropes. Mendoza shoots a right uppercut. Doing a little too much showboating, man. He's losing his fight. And he needs to win the rest of these rounds if he can try and pull out a draw, in my opinion. There's a left hook from Mendoza. Tim, I tell you what, Mendoza is tough. Nothing significant from Tzsyu in this round, though. It depends on if you, like a round like this where nothing landed significant from Tzsyu, you have to give it to Mendoza for just being busier. 50 seconds to go in round 10. Tzsyu stalking. There's a left hand, right hand, left hand from Tzsyu. 3-4 punch combination upstairs. Mendoza could be hurt. Mendoza holding on. Tzsyu trying to get him off of him. Big right hand from Tzsyu, followed by another one. There's a big. Protect yourself at all times. Tzsyu. That was a big body shot from Mendoza. Tzsyu thought it was low. The referee never broke it up. Tzsyu teeing off against Mendoza on the ropes now. There's a big right hand from Tzsyu. Mendoza in trouble. Tzsyu letting loose. Another right hand. Another right hand. This guy got a chin, bro. Oh my goodness, how is he still on his feet? Blood coming from the left eye of Mendoza now. Oh my God. Hell of a way to close the show. Mendoza showed, I don't know what the hell. He must have thought he might have hit him low. But Tzsyu pulled up and stopped fighting and pointed to his groin, saying that it was a low shot. Mendoza had all the opportunity in the world to land something big on Tzsyu, but he didn't. And Tzsyu continued the onslaught. That was a hell of a brutal round for Mendoza. He did land a clean body shot that the referee did not call low. Tzsyu has been holding and probing the head of Mendoza. Nothing is getting called by this referee. This referee is just he's just a prop in this fight at this point. No warnings or anything from him about anything. He's not breaking them up in the clinches or nothing. All right, championship rounds, man. It's been all Tim Tzsyu since about the 6th round, 7th round. And I don't know how the hell Brian Mendoza is still here. I don't know how he's here. There's a left hand from Tim Tzsyu. Mendoza needs a knockout, in my opinion, to win. And it looks like he's getting broken down systematically here in these championship rounds. I would be surprised if he makes it out of this. Oh, Tim Tzsyu all over Mendoza on the ropes. There's a big right hand from Mendoza. That misses. Tim Tzsyu steady coming like the goddamn Terminator. Downstairs, upstairs. 3-punch combination upstairs from Tim Tzsyu. There's a left hand from Mendoza. Trying to get some respect. Tim Tzsyu don't care. He's still coming. There's another right hand upstairs from Tim Tzsyu. Steady coming. Jason, Michael Myers, Terminator. He's coming. Big left uppercut. Misses everything from Tim Tzsyu. But there's a straight right hand behind the ear of Mendoza. Mendoza tries to fight back. 3-punch combination. Huge uppercut from Tim Tzsyu. Right hand upstairs from Tim Tzsyu. Now Mendoza's up against the ropes. Tim Tzsyu teeing off. Mendoza trying to figure out how to get out of there. There's a shot on the temple. There's another big shot. Big left, right left from Tim Tzsyu. Mendoza in the corner fighting back. This kid got heart, but there's Tim Tzsyu. Steady dishing out punishment. Mendoza bobbing and weaving. Trying his best to survive. Holding on, clinching now. There's a minute to go in the 11th round, and Tim Tszyu's on a mission. There's a double left hand from Mendoza downstairs. Tim Tzsyu doesn't feel anything right now. Still coming forward and applying crazy pressure. There's a 3-punch combination from Mendoza. That doesn't deter Tim Tzsyu at all. Tim Tzsyu steady on the front foot. Mendoza back against the ropes. Tim Tzsyu looked like he could be spent just a little bit. Here comes a lazy jab from Mendoza, trying to throw something out there. Tim Tzsyu still trying to line him up along the ropes. Mendoza back on the ropes again. Big right hand to the body from Tim Tzsyu. Tim Tzsyu trying to close the show. 20 seconds to go in the 11th round. At this point, Mendoza is just trying to survive and trying not to get knocked out. Oh, big right hand from Mendoza. Tim Tzsyu eating it all. Big right hand from Tim Tzsyu. Mendoza. Yo, Mendoza got a chin, bro. Mendoza got a chin. How is this bastard still here? Wow. Tim Tzsyu is breaking Mendoza to pieces, but he won't go nowhere. He's hit him with everything in the kitchen sink. Championship rounds going into the 12th. It's been all Tim Tzsyu from the 7th, 8th round to now, bro. He's I didn't got so excited. I didn't stop taking score. I think I got Tim Tzsyu up by 4, maybe 5 rounds now. It's been the Tim Tzsyu show from the 7th. Yeah, he went crazy in the 7th round. He let him recover in the 8th. So from the 9th, 10th, 11th, it's been all Tim Tzsyu. Make sure y'all smash that like button too, man. If you rock with your boy, I appreciate that love. Share the video. 12th and final round. They touch gloves in the middle of the ring. Tim Tzsyu can't do nothing but have respect for this guy. The cheek of Mendoza looks puffy, man. He could very well have a broken jaw, bro. That could be a broken jaw. I would have to take a real good look at it. But 12th and final round, Tim Tzsyu trying to put an exclamation point on this fight. And here comes Tim Tzsyu. Mendoza still got a little bit of life left in those legs. No, his jaw don't look too bad. It looks puffy though. Yeah, it's 107, 102. That's how far Hoods got it. Yeah, I look like I would have the same thing. I think I would have gave that 8th to Mendoza. All right, not a lot of action in the 12th. Oh, Tim Tzsyu trying to line up that right hand. He wants a spectacular knockout. Left hand upstairs from Mendoza. That lands. Mendoza merely, I believe, trying to survive, keeping that lazy jab out of there. Oh, there's a nice 1-2 upstairs from Mendoza. Both of them laying clean. Tim Tzsyu kind of playing peekaboo behind that high guard, looking for that big shot to go ahead and put this one in bed. Can he get Mendoza out of there? Nice little combination from Mendoza. There's a left hand doubling up that jab for Mendoza. Nothing significant. He needs a knockout, and I just don't think he has the energy to try and deliver one. Yeah, man, I can't believe this fight. Oh, big left hand from Tim Tzsyu. And again, Mendoza eats it. I don't know what this dude is made of, man. He made of that Rocky shit, bro. He made of that Rocky steel, bro. And still showboating Mendoza, even though he's losing and you know, gotten beat up pretty bad. Oh, and a little bit of a slick defense towards the end of round 12 from Brian Mendoza. 30 seconds left. Tim Tzsyu doesn't look like he's going to be able to close the show, and Brian Mendoza looked like he will survive the biggest ride in the theme park today, which is a Tim Tzsyu. 10 seconds to go in the 12. Left hand from Tim Tzsyu. Brian Mendoza just kind of, and that's the bell, man. Wow. I tell you what, man, Mendoza is a tough son of a bitch. Now, Tim Tzsyu most definitely won this fight. This was an exciting fight, man. You got to take your head off to Brian Mendoza. Just man, Tim Tzsyu is so strong, bro. To get hit with some of those, to take those shots. Final show stats, man. Tim Tzsyu, 22 out of 148 jabs. Mendoza, 22 out of 208 jabs, 15 to 11%. 98 power punches out of 258 for Tzsyu. 71 out of 225 for Mendoza. 30% for Tim Tzsyu on all punches landed. And I kind of feel like that punch stack kind of tells the story of this fight. Like I mentioned several times in this fight, there was just some real accuracy from a Tim Tzsyu. He conserved a lot of that energy. You know, he was being extremely smart with his punch placement. He did some really great counter punching in his fight, and it served him well. I can't believe he couldn't get the knockout in rounds 7. I want to say that was 7, 10, 11. I can't believe he couldn't close the deal. But that just goes to show just how tough Brian Mendoza was, man. But this is most definitely all Tim Tzsyu from the 7th round on. Great fight, man. I like it. Hope you enjoyed it, Coach Eddie. We both was wrong as hell, man. We both was wrong as hell. Crazy. I'm going to let y'all listen to the verdict.
That was a lead punch for him. Forget the jab. He's got a lead right hand and a powerful one, too. And, I mean, just the barrage of punches, the uppercut. I mean, he just overwhelmed Mendoza with those punches. And, again, you got to give it to Mendoza. He took some shots, some really hard shots. So the chin's there for Mendoza.
Still never been down as a pro in this fight. His 25th professional fight.
Those were all knockout punches. They're all punches that are supposed to knock you out. And as we mentioned, Mendoza had never been that 12-round distance. You perhaps think that another fight will continue like that.
Playing that damn 50 song, man. Hold up.
Score totals. Judge at ringside, Adam Height scores the bout 116 to 111. Steve Gray sees it 116 to 112, and Katsuhiko Nakamura scores the bout 117 to 111. All three in favor of the unanimous decision winner, and he is still the undefeated WBO Super Welterweight Champion of the World, the Soul Taker, Tzsyu.
And now he's a champion. He successfully defended the title for the first time. Tzsyu, 24-0. He and Brian Mendoza forging respect.
All right, man. Tzsyu, Brian Mendoza in the books. Let's listen to the post-ring fight interview.
Now that you've won a fight, you've defended your belt, do you feel different?
Charlo, where you at? Where you at, buddy?
What do you think Jermell Charlo would have thought watching that performance?
He'll probably, in his delusional head, he'll probably think that he's going to beat me. Come get it. Come get it.
Do you think he will come get it?
Yeah, for sure, man. He fought Canelo, man. Best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, you know. And I think now, let's prove he is the best 154, but let's prove it to everyone who is really the king of the division.
A word on Brian Mendoza, because you hit him with everything.
Man, he's tough, he's crafty, he's slick, he's got power. He's world-class for a reason, you know. He's just behind me.
What did you set out to do here today? Because we saw uppercuts and left hooks. It seemed that you knew the punches that were going to get him.
Have some fun in there and perform for everyone here. Simple, man. I told ya, it's my last hooray. And we finished off with a bang. Hopefully, we can go to Vegas all together.
Well, a word for not only the people of the Gold Coast who've embraced you, but Australia, who's been on this journey with you since the beginning, and particularly in recent years. Just tell everyone what it means to you.
It's unbelievable, man. I've got a pack of lions with me, all the boys at training camp, all the boys behind in my team, all my sponsors, and fucking everyone here, every single person in Australia. The support's been unreal. Thank you to all my day ones.
Congratulations, Tzsyu. You are and you remain the world champion.
See you all in Vegas.
Tzsyu.
Tzsyu.
All right, Tzsyu, the true 154 champion. Man, oh man. Great fight. They delivered for me, man. I can appreciate it for sure. I want to open up the phone lines real quick. Shout out my guy, Floyd Malloy, in the chat. He says, I love your shirt, bro. Appreciate that, man. Try Jesus, not me, for sure. That's real rap. Run up on me wrong, it ain't gonna end right. I'm gonna open up this phone line. If you guys want to call in, tell me what you saw. Did you enjoy this fight? 757-349-6242. I'll open it up for a little bit here, man. Then I'm gonna go on to bed, man. Make sure you smash that like button for your boy. I truly enjoyed commentating this fight for you. I hope you guys enjoy as well, man. Man, I appreciate to see so much love come through on this live. Not quite what I expected. Two really, really big punches. And I think had it not been for the chin of Brian Mendoza, dude's got a iron chin. That's the only thing that saved him from getting knocked out, bro. you could argue, especially in the 7th, I want to say that was the 10th and 11th, that Tim Tszyu hit him with some shots that could have knocked out a mule, bro, and he was still there. You got to take your head off to Brian Mendoza. He's most definitely going to see a doctor tonight. I'm going to have to make sure I get the report on Mendoza just to see how busted up he is after this fight, because he's most definitely on his way to be in the care of a doctor. I got the phone lines open up. If you want to call in real quick, tell me what you thought of the fight. If you were in fact watching or listening to me commentate, 757-349-6242. Now, the big question for me is, what's next for Tim Tszyu? This stamps a lot of things at 154. Like Tim Tszyu said, this is now his division. He said, it's my time, and this is my division now. They didn't let him get his hands on the belt. And as you could hear in the post-ring fight interview, he immediately, he said nothing else but Charlo. He calls out Charlo's name. Now remember, Jermell Charlo, even though he went up to 68 and tried his hand, rolled the dice against a Canelo Alvarez, gets dominated, but he still has 3 belts left at 154. He's got an IBF mandatory that's knocking on the door, trying to activate his mandatory. Of course, Tim Tszyu has been waiting in the wing for a long time to fight Jermell Charlo, over a year and a half now. So for Tim Tszyu, it appears that he wants the Charlo fight. But I don't think he'd be mad at a Bud Crawford fight or Errol Spence fight, right? Or even a Danny Garcia fight. But I think for him, he wants to go to Vegas. He's screaming Vegas. He wants to see Jermell Charlo in Vegas. For Tim Tszyu, I do believe that makes the most sense, but this is boxing. We got to keep in mind that this is boxing. A lot of the times, things don't fall the way they supposed to. Now, for me, makes sense, all right? Jermell Charlo has an opportunity to become 2 times undisputed again. All you got to do now is step in the ring with Tim Tszyu. But you got to understand that there's a Bud Crawford lurking out there. And like I told you guys from the very get-go, I didn't think that rematch was going to happen with Errol Spence. Bud Crawford has shot down the notion of a Keith Thurman, of a Danny Garcia, defending against a Boots Ennis at 54 or 47 with Keith Thurman in the Boots Ennis. If he wants to go after the WBO to position himself against Jermell Charlo calls out Bud Crawford. That's who he said he would like to fight next. But at the end of the day, I think, especially given this performance by Tim Tszyu, even though he didn't get the knockout, I still think he looked fantastic. I think he put on a great performance against a worthy, tough opponent in a Brian Mendoza. I think he deserves to get that Jermell Charlo fight next. And maybe the winner could face a Bud Crawford. There's so many different ways that this thing could work. Bud Crawford could try to go after the WBO and knock off Tim Tszyu and position himself to fight Jermell Charlo. But in the meantime, who would Jermell Charlo fight? And I think that's the biggest question. So really everything is kind of predicated on what Jermell Charlo wants to do, right? If Jermell Charlo wants to go ahead and man up and try and become 2 times undisputed at 54, then he fights Tim Tszyu next. And Bud Crawford, it's weird, man, because, you know, he shot down the notion of fighting some really, really good competition if he's not going to fight Errol Spence next. I think just for the money's sake, and if Showtime is willing to put it up for Bud Crawford and Errol Spence, these guys can't make what they made the first time around. That show, that pay-per-view event did 650 to 750,000 pay-per-view buys. I just don't believe the rematch does that. It was such a one-sided ass whooping. I don't know if you can repackage it and send it and put it out there to the public. So more than likely, that fight doesn't do the same numbers, meaning Showtime, Steven Espinoza, these guys aren't going to be willing to put up as much money. Somebody's going to have to take a pay cut, and it's not going to be Bud Crawford. I don't know how well that'll sit with Errol Spence. Again, it's a few roadblocks that could prevent this rematch from happening, and not to mention the weight clause, the weight stipulation. So if that fight happens, again, like I said from the very get-go, I understand. I said it probably doesn't happen from the beginning. But where does that leave Bud Crawford? Hey, if you want to continue to be undisputed at 47, then in the meantime, you got to fight the likes of a Boots, or you got to fight somebody in the meantime while they straighten things out at 54 between a Tim Tszyu and a Jermell Charlo. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this, like I said before when it came to Tim Tszyu. I think he's a duck now if Jermell Charlo doesn't fight Tim Tszyu next. That's how I feel. Straight up. If you don't fight Tim Tszyu next, then I'm with my Aussie brothers when they say, hey, Jermell Charlo's a duck. Because at the end of the day, what else makes the most sense for Jermell Charlo? Not really fighting Bud Crawford, but most definitely fighting Tim Tszyu, becoming two-time undisputed. But I think right now, because Bud Crawford's stock is so high, because he does have the clout coming off probably the most anticipated welterweight showdown, and since forever, there's a lot of clout behind that name. 1.4 million social media following now. Bud got the clout. I would hate for him to have Tim Tszyu wait another year and then Tim Tszyu defending in the meantime. But now here's another thing, especially for Tim Tszyu. Now that you the champ, baby, you know what I'm saying? You got to be trying to fight the best out there, all right? That's what we asked of Jermell Charlo and everybody else. You got to keep that same energy about who Tim Tszyu fighting. And, you got some solid 54 competition out there, right? So, again, I don't know. I still feel like Jermell Charlo's a duck if he don't fight Tim Tszyu next. But let's just say some way, somehow, Charlo fights Bud Crawford next. Tim Tszyu has to fight, I feel a real contender at 54. I wouldn't mind seeing him up against somebody as experienced and still pretty relevant in a Danny Garcia. Set up that Danny Swift Garcia fight, man. I like that. Who else at 54? Lubin coming off a big win but didn't look spectacular to me. Fundora coming off the Brian Mendoza fight. Styles big fight that could be a different sort of adversity for Tim Tszyu in that fight. But I think, it's definitely got to be somebody tough at 54 for sure. All right, man, I done got tired, man. Nobody's calling in for no thoughts on the fight. It's all good. I'm going to go ahead and kick rocks. I appreciate everybody for checking in with your boy tonight, man. Again, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video. And I appreciate y'all, man, for rocking out, making tonight especially exceptional for me, man, for sure. All right, Big T.O. heavy bag. Man, I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm going to bed. All right, you know who I got with me, man. I got my guy with me. He don't like y'all, and I don't really like y'all neither. Talk to him, Roger.
Most motherfuckers don't know shit about boxing.